What's up, boys? Welcome back to the Ran When Parked YouTube channel. Now, I didn't post a video last week or for the past 2 weeks because I've been so busy trying to get things in line to, work on some new projects or start some new projects or whatever. Basically just preparing for the next couple of videos. So I want to start this episode by giving you guys a little bit of an update of where we're at and what I've been doing. So I got to move into the garage. I mean, as I think most of you know, I'm located in New England, in Connecticut here, and it's getting cold. You can see it's kind of a crappy, rainy, overcast day today, so it's gonna start raining. I can't work outside. I gotta work in the shop. Now, the problem with my shop is that it's not conducive to filming or making content like this. I mean, it's not well lit. It's like a cave. I've filmed in there before. You guys have probably noticed it's very, very difficult to get good lighting and things like that, so I'm approaching those things. So I want to show you where I'm at with that right now real quick. So we're gonna go over here. Evil 7's obviously still in here, but I have essentially stripped out this whole shop. So I'm waiting on a new toolbox and some other things, but I'm ready to insulate everything over here from this side over to like halfway. I'm going to insulate it, I'm going to sheetrock it, I'm going to paint it because this place is heated. I have a whole furnace, house furnace in the corner over there. And then I'm going to light it all with all new LED lights. So I have all that stuff, but I'm kind of right in the process of working on it. Obviously, this thing had so many like built-in shelves that my father did, 30 years ago. They were all just, bolted to the studs. So I had to cut all that crap off of there. And it's just been a process to do that. So bear with me while I'm getting this all sorted out. I'm only really doing it so I can make better content in here for you guys. So obviously, this channel has been growing pretty good. And I'm having a lot of fun with it, to be honest with you guys. So I want to invest a little bit more in trying to make better content because it's been kind of a blast, and the side effect of it is it forces me to finish all these projects, so that's good. Now, in other news, most of you probably remember this thing, my 70 whatever it is Massey Ferguson MF50A industrial backhoe. It has arrived in Connecticut. What a pain in the butt that was getting it down here. I'll tell that story because this thing is just a mountain of problems right now. We got it here, but barely. So I'm going to make another video probably next week on getting this thing up and running and moving again. I got a lot of comments about what is probably wrong with it or what people perceive as being wrong with it. And I realized that, maybe I skipped out on some important details when I made the original video on it. And that's why people are thinking things that I don't think are necessarily true about what may or may not be wrong with the engine in this thing or its current state. So I'm gonna make another video probably next weekend once some parts show up because I got to do some work with this thing before it really gets snowy here. So I probably got like one good solid week before the temperatures really drop. So you're gonna see that thing next week, maybe. I'll tell the story about getting it home. We'll get it moving again. We'll drive it around a little bit and have some fun with that thing. Because to be honest with you, it's kind of blocking the access to the back of my property. So I kind of have to move it now. Anyway, another update real quick is that maybe some of you saw in the airbag video where I was working on this thing, that I got a lathe for the shop. Now, I used to have a lathe for the shop, but it wasn't exactly what I wanted, so I got rid of it. And I just so happened to find the exact lathe that I was looking at for years, which is a Klausing 4900 series, a small lathe, and I got it. So I found one like 3 miles from my house. Actually, my buddy Dave found it. And, he set me up with the guy. So I went and got this thing. It's sick. This is going to be awesome for the channel because I can make so many different bushings and bearings and little screws and modify things and shafts and you name it, I can do it on this. Combined with the CNC mill, I can basically make whatever the hell I want in this garage. So this is cool. The reason why I'm pointing this out to you guys is because very, very soon, probably within the next 2 or 3 weeks, I have everything in a box under there. I'm going to get this wired up with a variable frequency driver because it's 223 phase, so I got to go 220 single phase to 223 phase. I'm going to remove the drive mechanisms in it because it's all belt-driven speeds. So similar to what I have with this thing, this is belt-driven speed also, but it has a variable frequency driver, and therefore you can control the RPM with the frequency. You can also turn it into reverse and have presets and things like that. So I'm going to do the same thing with this thing. And then I'm going to put digital readouts on it, which again are in the box under there. Those came with this before I converted it all over to CNC. It was just a Bridgeport manual with digital readouts. So I had the digital readouts up in the attic. So I'm going to put digital readouts on it. I'm going to wire it up. I'm going to add all kinds of tools and then I'm going to test it out. Now, if you guys are interested in that, definitely comment below and let me know that you're interested in that. Because if you are, then, no problem. I'll make a video out of it. I'll show you guys how to kind of revive an old machine tool like that, get it wired up with today's technology and get it moving. Because I feel like if more people had tools like that in their shops, then more people would probably be doing, you know, things that they wish they could do on projects. Anyway, so that's pretty much the update for today. Now what we're gonna do today for the video is the FJ40 over there, my 72 Landcruiser, which I'm building for my wife, is going to move into the garage finally. So what we have to do is we have to move the RX-7, we have to clean up the shop. I'm gonna get that thing into the shop, and then I'm gonna give you guys a thorough walkthrough of everything that's going on that Landcruiser, and we'll come up with some first steps forward and how we're gonna build this thing, because I essentially have to have that thing probably running and driving by the end of the winter in order to meet my targets for, you know, finishing it and getting it done for my anniversary next August. So let's get moving all this stuff. Let's clean the shop. Let's get that thing in there and let's start talking about it. All right, boys, so she's in the shop. That was a major pain in the butt because it wouldn't roll off the trailer, but I guess I'm not surprised. It's been sitting on it for like a year and a half or whatever. So anyway, she's in here. So what I want to do here is just give you guys a quick walkthrough of where I'm at with this thing. So the chassis is like a 76 or newer. I forget. I have a bill of sale inside. Doesn't really matter. It has the newer style front axle, so it's got disc brakes, which is a fantastic upgrade. It has power steering. I think I talked about this before. This is a Saginaw box. And before, it was mounted like way out here, and it had like weird frame extensions that made this thing like way too long. So what I did was I basically just cut those off because I didn't understand them, and they looked just absolutely ridiculous. I milled out a like 1/4-inch steel plate, welded that on. So this thing's now mounted with 4 stainless steel socket head cap screws. It's done right. It's pushed back into this front cross member, which I've done these things before, and I know that's roughly where you want it to go, you know, within a little bit either direction to actually get the right geometry out of it. So that's all done. The whole front end, fenders, aprons, bezel, hood, everything is off the 72 that came out of the goat pasture. It's in surprisingly good shape, especially the bezel. They usually rot out under here, and this one's pretty good. The fenders are mostly Bondo, so those are going to go. The hood is probably going to go also because it's just really pitted. And I think by the time it's in good shape, it'll be more Bondo than steel. The windshield frame is also out of the 72 that I got from the goat pasture in Vermont. And that's about it that got salvaged off that truck. Now, this body is made by a company called Mallet. It's a fiberglass body. And it's good. It fits good. Everything works well. It's just really weak. I mean, it just shakes around a lot and stuff. So what I'm going to do is just support it generally all over the place. So I think that's going to be really interesting for you guys probably how I'm going to do that because I have a lot of ideas. And I'll give you guys an example of what I mean by that right now. So where the door hinges go, when I got it, it had like 1/2-inch plywood just stuck into the fiberglass behind it. And that's all that supported the door. So I already started a new system for like that. And that is a billet bracket here that attaches that door mount via the back all the way down to the body mount in the front. So essentially the structure of the door pillar is tied to the frame through the body mount. So I'm going to do things like that all over. Obviously I'm going to duplicate that on the other side, but I'm going to do fancy things like that all over this thing to try to make it just not have those downfalls of a normal fiberglass tub. And they all have some sort of downfalls. So we also got to do some general patchwork. This is the factory filler for the gas tank, which I have a new factory gas tank there. This thing had like an extended, a big aftermarket tank made by a company called Confer, which mounted under the rear. And this is the hole from the old filler. So we got to fill that in. Other than that, the tub's in good shape. It really doesn't have any cracks. The gel coat is good. It's really not beat. It's just got a lot of holes in it and things. So it seems to me that someone had this thing all fully assembled. I mean, you can tell all the holes in the dash are cut. It's just, I don't know what they did. They put in a lot of work, but then they just took it all back apart. I mean, it's got a TH350 in it. It's adapted to the factory Toyota transfer case. That all looks like it was probably cleaned and media blasted. I mean, it's clean. Maybe it was rebuilt. I'm not really sure. But someone put in a lot of work, and then I got it for remarkably inexpensive. So it basically has all the parts. I got some stuff in the back, some extras and things. The doors are off another truck. Under the hood, I put a 4.8 out of a Silverado in there. I think it came from like a 99 Silverado, and it was running when I got it out of there. It has a factory harness, which I've already converted to be standalone. So plug in the powers, plug in the grounds, build a high-pressure fuel system, and she's a runner. It has shorty hooker headers on it. They're just kind of sitting in there, I think. Those were off the Evil 7 before I turbocharged the Evil 7. That was the original exhaust I built. So those were just sitting in the corner of the shop. So I bolted those on there. We'll use those. Obviously, I don't really care about power in this thing. So, you know, shorties will be fine. Other than that, that's about it, guys. So we got it in the shop. We can finally start working on it. This is going to comprise a lot of episodes this winter because I have some pretty aggressive goals as far as when I want to get this thing done. So stick with me because we got a lot of interesting fabrication work to do on this thing. We got a lot of fiberglass work to do on this thing. We have a lot of wiring to do on this thing. It's going to be pretty much a full-on project. We pretty much have to do everything to finish it. Very little is actually done. So that's going to be about it for today, guys. I actually intended to get into this and start working on it in this video, but it took so long to get the shop cleaned out and get it in here. And also, I just don't feel like I can produce the best videos for you guys until I actually get the shop finished and get the lights in and everything like that. So I don't really want to... I don't want to do it unless it's going to be the best content I can create. So that's going to be it for today. Go like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to have another video up really, really soon on this thing. Also, I'm going to have another one on the Massey Ferguson over there because it's just a basket of problems. I want to talk about that. But that's it. So I'll see you guys next time on Run When Parked.